OneNote is a tool that we will use to add resources to the courses. The layout of OneNote will be the sections on the left-hand side, these sections typically lining up to the sections in a course. We will often have them on the right-hand side in the form of hyperlinks. So if you go to the hyperlink, it will take you to the section with the information in it in a similar format to a website format. If you then go into any of these sections in one of those two ways, you will typically find categories, the typical categories being video presentation files and PDF files, text, audio, and language files, and then the Excel example problem files. The first section, and then you'll have the information within each of those sections. The first section being the video files and the PDF could have a video file here, but it's also designed to basically supplement the video files with a downloadable PDF file that you can have here, or you can just scroll through the PDF file and see the slides that will be included with the text, the presentation file. The new item down here, the thing that adds the most resources in my opinion, is going to be under the text, audio, and language information, where you can actually listen to the text file. You can read the text file in multiple different languages. So the text files will generally be just text. So we're not going to add any images because it can throw off some of the tools that you might be using in order to utilize this resource. These will typically be the transcripts. So these will be the transcripts of the video files that will often be up here. So you'll see a similar number or the same number for the video and the transcript. If that's the case, then you can line up the transcript to the video file if you so choose. You can also see these items here being the notes or the time within the video file. So if you wanted to read through the transcript and then go to the video file and see where that would be on the slide or see the proper slide, you can use these time links to go back to the transcript. That will also help if you want to listen to this in another language using this tool as well. So some of the nice tools we have over here is going to be included in the Immersive Reader. So the Immersive Reader, if we go into the Immersive Reader, we have the play option down here, so you can actually listen to it within the Immersive Reader. So if you don't like the presenter that is presenting the video file and you'd rather just hear this one, it's actually a pretty nice voice that they have down here, and you can have it read back to you in this format. The other great tool is you can actually change this to another language, many different languages, in a similar way as a Word document, read it in another language, and you can also hear it in another language and have the audio file in another language. The way to do that is to go up top to this resource up top, and then say you want to change the whole text to another language. If I was to say I want to put it into Spanish, and notice all the language options you have. So you got a whole lot of language options. Spanish, we've got 3 Spanish language options. I'm going to choose Mexico here for me. Then just note that the default here will be by word. We don't want to hear it by word. I want to hear the entire thing, in Spanish. So therefore, I'm going to say you have to tick this off. Make sure to tick that off, and that'll change the entire document. So now you can go into this thing and you can actually read it in Spanish, or you can play it in Spanish, and you can go down here and play it wherever you want, start it wherever you want, and then start it in Spanish. Now also note that since this is a transcript, it will actually line up to the video file as well. Now, it won't line up perfectly, but you can use this audio file to then, basically line up to the video file or find the proper slides within the video file if it is a transcript that we are looking at. So, for example, if I wanted to open up another tab of OneNote and have 2 tabs and kind of line up the video and the audio file here in the text file, I can go up to the tab up top, right-click on it. I'm going to duplicate that tab. So now we're going to have 2 tabs. I'm going to have 1 tab with the transcript on it, which has the same number. This is number 225. I'm going to bring that on over, and then I'm going to look up the slide file under the video files for 225. And then if I have the video file here or within a course, then you can line up the actual timestamp. I can say, all right, here, if I was to play this video file, I might, if I go back to my text, say, hey, look, I'm over here somewhere by 1:14. Then I can use my timestamp over here and say, okay, I need to bring this to 1:14, which is about right there, right? And I can kind of line up the video, or at least see what slide I'm on, and then listen to it basically in Spanish over here with the audio file as I watch the video without the sound that would be in English. So you can have 2 tabs open and actually try to line up the audio with the video. Now note, it will not line up perfectly because the time it takes for someone to read it in Spanish is not going to line up exactly to the English take. But you can line it up pretty good by just basically going to these timestamps that will happen every so often and just realigning the timestamp, and then you can kind of line this up and watch the video files in another language. Now you also have some other options over here. If you were to go into this, you can use some of these other options. I'm in the book option. You can limit, where you want to see, so you can kind of highlight a particular line if you'd want to, or some particular section if you choose to. You have options with regards to let me turn this off now, the text size and whatnot. So we could go into the text size. We can increase the text size or decrease the text size. So we have that. And we can increase or decrease, the spacing of it, so we can have more or less on a page depending on our eyes and how often we want to scroll through it. You also have the theme options down below, which you can change as well. If we go to this second tab, you have grammar information, and this is pretty neat kind of information if you want to break down, if you're interested in the grammar information for it, right? You can actually, says, here's the nouns, right? And this is really nice if you're trying to learn another language, because it'll actually basically break down the sentence for you and say, here's the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives. So I just think that's pretty neat. Maybe not applicable for accounting as much, but so that could be a useful tool. Now, of course, when you're listening to it down here, you have the tool to increase the speed of it. So you can listen to it faster if you want to focus in on it and change the voice. You have the two options, the male and female voice. Okay, so then I'm going to go back on over to our information. I think that's one of the major kind of added resources that are there. And then we have the Excel example problems, where we'll have the Excel information. This will typically include Excel worksheets. There may be a video file to work through an Excel problem. There'll typically be a PDF file as well. So you can download the Excel worksheet if it is available with regards to a particular video file within a course. It'll also break it out down below in a PDF format. May not be the perfect format, because notice if it breaks out 2 pages, it'll break it out on 2 pages wide, but it might be useful to scroll through it in terms of a PDF format as well, if you so choose.